What are crowds really like at Hollywood studios, and what do you need to do to make sure that you have a great day? We're gonna find out. This morning I am at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I am going to show you the best tips and tricks on how to handle crowds in Disney World. And I'm gonna see what wait times are looking like versus what they actually are and what Disney is telling you they are. It's gonna be interesting science. Alrighty everybody, so I am getting to Hollywood Studios. It is about 8:45 right now. The park just opened at 8:30, and as you can see, the lines are still pretty far out. We're gonna see roughly how long this takes us to get through, and we're gonna see what the crowds are like today. Now, of course, one of my favorite tips is always don't go to the closest lines. Go to the shortest lines. It's gonna help you. You might have to walk a little bit further down, but you are gonna go faster 100%. Okay, so I came down to the very far right, which was the emptiest line when I first hopped in, and it did take me about 10 minutes to get through that line. That's not awful, especially when you can tell it's pretty crowded this morning. So it wasn't bad. I was in the shade for 85% of that time, so not bad at all. Now, of course, I'm going to pull off, find some shade, and then see what the park times are looking like. As we're headed in today, very similarly to Magic Kingdom, this first entranceway, which is here, it is Hollywood Boulevard, and Magic Kingdom, it of course is Main Street USA. This is going to be a great indicator of what the day is going to look like. Today, it's looking pretty crowded. Unlike Magic Kingdom though, this will clear out a little bit. I mean, it will always have crowds, but it might not always be as overwhelming as Main Street. I really love this area. I also think this is a really fun time to take some family photos. The line actually looks pretty long for the one photo pass down through here. They don't have multiple photo pass photographers down through here. Right now, this morning, they only have one. Of course, that will depend on Of course, that will depend on the crowds. So maybe the fact that he's only one person might be a good indicator for us. Also, I just walked past trolley car. Oh, I want that so bad. We'll do coffee signs later. So I made my way down to the end of Hollywood Boulevard so that way I could find a shady spot and check out the wait times. Right now it is 9 o'clock on the dot, and Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars ride, is currently down, which kind of throws a wrench in my day because I assumed that was going to be the longest wait time. So now things are a little bit different than I thought they would be, but no issue there. That's a great example of being a little bit flexible with your schedule. Sometimes things don't open when you think they should. So, all of that being said, the highest wait time right now is, of course, Tower of Terror. I say, of course, you never know what it's gonna look like here at Hollywood Studios, and it is posting 70 minutes. So I am going to head down this shady, lovely pathway, and I'm gonna check out Tower of Terror and see what is the wait actually. I know it's still incredibly early in the day, but because of what we're doing today, more than likely, I will not be doing Muppet Vision 3D. And if you don't know, that's gonna be an issue for me. But I'm here for research, not for my personal enjoyment. So heading down to the Tower of Terror, Sunset Boulevard is actually not looking that bad this morning as far as crowds go. As you can see, it's fairly empty behind me. I'm feeling optimistic. I do think Tower's time is a lot higher than normal. I say a lot. A little bit higher than normal just because Rise of the Resistance is down. I'm so scared of heights. And we're going to ride the tallest thing in Hollywood Studios. It's gonna be great. Okay, folks, I am here. I have arrived at the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which is home, of course, to the Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror is an elevator drop ride that takes you into the Twilight Zone. It is not for the faint of heart. The drops are pretty intense. It goes pretty high. Of course, there's that height requirement, but even I, as an adult, don't really love it, so be prepared for that. It has dropped, it looks like 60 minutes? Looks like 60 instead of 70, so maybe it won't be that bad. We're gonna see what it looks like. I'm hopping in line now, and I'm starting my timer. It is 9:10. And can you see all that? It's warm today. So and we're not even in the, I mean, I'm in the sun right now. For the most part, this line is still in the shade. Be prepared. If you're coming at any point later than this in the day, you're gonna be in the direct sun until you get through the gate and up into the actual queue itself, not outside of the ride. That's gonna be hot, that's gonna be miserable. Be prepared for that. Bring your sunscreen, bring your water. Whatever you wanna do. I do this for science, so. You see that? Right there? That's coffee over there. Ugh. We'll do it later. I honestly do enjoy this queue. I have waited in this queue in the middle of the day, and as you can see, it's really covered. It's pretty shaded for the most part. Of course, there are going to be patches where you're stuck in the sun, but overall, it's pretty nice. This hotel really is in disrepair. Might even say goofy. Look at him, so handsome. One of my favorite things about this queue, and even if you come down to get the Joffreys at the end of, or at the exit down here, is a lot of times Goofy and Max will be hanging out up here. And can you see him? There's Max. They hang out. It's great entertainment for the lines, especially if your kids are nervous about Tower. I'm nervous about Tower. Look, there he goes. Just calling on his phone. Oh, look at that phone. Oh, thank you. All right, 32 minutes to get into the pre-show.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound.
Welcome everybody to the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Before getting into the elevator, you're gonna wait on your number until I call you. Once inside the elevator, seatbelts are buckled left to right and left to right only. And please hold on to anything of value so you don't lose it.
You don't know this about me. I used to work here. Tower Gifts, baby. Gotta love them. And all the traumatized children after they get off Tower of Terror. Nice. Just hopped off of Tower of Terror, and it only took me 37 minutes. And that wasn't just even to the pre-show. To the pre-show, it only took me 34, 35? And 37 was like literally me getting on the car. That is a great time for Tower of Terror, especially in the morning when Rise of the Resistance was down. Of course, while I was in line, Rise did come back up, but I was already in line. We were already here. We were here for science. I am totally, completely terrored from that tower. I'm shaking. Do I think it's worth 37 minutes? Absolutely I do. I don't even love this ride that much. It absolutely, really, truly scares me. I am a little shaky. My legs are not completely standing straight right now. Absolutely great start to our Crowds Day. It is only 10 o'clock, and that means for me, it's time for some coffee science. But I'm not doing my coffee science here. I'm going elsewhere. But always remember, this Joffrey's by Tower is a great coffee option, and as you can see, the line is actually pretty long for back here. It is tucked away. If you're looking for Joffrey's, typically that's going to be your quickest one here in Hollywood Studios. You can see this morning there's still a pretty big line, but if you come later in the day, that's probably going to be your fastest one. I'm having a genuine crisis as I walk, because if you don't know much about me, I love to shop for Disney merchandise. It's a problem. I barely break even every month because I just keep buying ears and keychains and shirts and things I don't need. And I love it. So the fact that I'm walking past these stores right now to continue our crowd science, that's how dedicated I am to research, to science, and to Disney World crowds. All right, so We are here at the Trolley Car Cafe. As you can see, it's actually a pretty good wait right now. I was gonna go to Joffrey's, but I'm morbidly curious to see how long this line is. So I'm gonna start my timer and I'm gonna hop in. The Trolley Car Cafe is just Starbucks and it has all of your Starbucks favorites. This line, of course, is long in the morning, especially if you're rope dropping. If you wanna save a little bit of time in the morning, I would highly recommend having coffee at your hotel, in your Disney hotel room, and then maybe if you need a pick-me-up later in the day, this Trolley Car Cafe or any of the Joffrey's options are great ones. You can also mobile order some of the Joffrey's from here. Of course, it's only going to be the hot coffee. You cannot currently order the cold brew on mobile order, but from places like ABC Commissary, Catalina Eddie's, there's actually a handful of places, Backlot Express. You can mobile order that hot Joffrey's coffee and be able to skip the lines. As I'm exiting, I'm catching the very tail end of the Pixar Pals Cavalcade. Hopefully I can catch it again today. I'll need to check out the times in my Disney experience. Here they go. This is a short cavalcade as well. That's really important to know. So if you're looking to see it and you miss it and you're a few minutes late, you're missing it. It's over. Alrighty, I've checked the wait times. Rise of the Resistance is at 110, and I think that's definitely the longest. I know that's definitely the longest. So to prepare, of course, I got my coffee, we did a little science. It took me about 30 minutes from the time I got in line to get my drink and my food. I was only in the actual physical line for about 25 minutes and then about 5 minutes to make this. But it was great, we're all good. I know that 110 more than likely is gonna be pretty close to 110. It is gonna be the time. I just realized that I've not mentioned yet, and I meant to mention when we first started this morning, is that for Hollywood Studios early hours in the morning, they begin at 8. People who are not resort hotel guests can get in around 8:30. What's different between Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios is that at Magic Kingdom, again, they only have 2 of the lands open for that early entry period, so the rest of the park you can still kind of aim to rope drop. Studios is not that way. Everything is at Studios is a part of that early entry, so there's not really a great rope drop strategy right now unless you are staying at the resorts, but you also have access, of course, to Disney Genie Plus here, which I think this is one of the best parts to use, Disney Genie Plus. If you really learn it, you can really utilize it in this park. I think that's great. And then also with Rise of the Resistance, that's a great example of utilizing that individual attraction selection if you want to save some time throughout your day. It is now time for me to hop in what I know will be the longest wait of my day, Rise of the Resistance. As you can see right now, it's a 135-minute wait, that's pretty hefty wait. And I think that we might just wait a good portion of it. I'm eager to see what the actual wait time is because I think it might be pretty close to that number. One thing about this queue is Disney, Disney created it knowing what this would look like, and they still, I say what this would look like, the crowds that this would draw, and they still had to extend it outside of the full queue. So as you can see, I'm kind of going back out through the exit, and I will loop back around and head back into Galaxy's Edge to get on the ride. Alright, I knew I'm about to make a big commitment by getting on this line, so I did choose actually to get a breakfast sandwich while I was at Trolley Car Cafe, Starbucks, whatever you prefer to call it. I normally would not, but I know that this is about to be a trek for me, and that's cool. I'm actually very excited for it, but I also know I'm a little bit hungry. I've not eaten yet today, so I did just get the Swiss ham croissant. It's just a little sandwich, small little bite. I'm personally glad I got it. I'm somebody who, if I have to stand in the sun and I'm hungry and thirsty, it drains me a little bit faster, so make sure that you know what you need before you hop in line. And this is another great ride that go to the bathroom before you get in line for this. I don't care how old you are, 0 to 100, go to the bathroom. while there is some shading in some areas, and they do, of course, have large fans, a lot of it is directly in the sun. That's cool with me. You know, you just need to prepare for it. Walt Disney World fan in the queue science. It's a good one. Not as strong as Seven Dwarfs, but still pretty nice. I am 30 minutes in to 135 wait. Honestly, I'm already under the covered portion. I just walked underneath it. I don't think that that's bad at all. Alright, it's been about 32 minutes and I have made it officially inside. I think this is moving really well. Of course, there's a pretty big queue inside, but this is not bad at all. Waiting in line for 50-ish minutes now. Cool. It's actually feeling really good in here. It's very cool, physically, good AC. But all I can think about is random Star Wars quotes. And not like the good ones, like the Misa Jar Jar Binks. That's the only thing running through my head. It's been 50 minutes of me doing 4 Jar Jar Binks impressions. 1 hour in, baby. I haven't finished this, but I'm gonna. After an hour and 15 in line, I finally finished it. I'm sorry to anyone that thinks I should drink coffee faster, because I won't. So headed into another room. As we're waiting and hanging out, this actually is, you know, it is a long wait. My legs are very tired from standing. It's been about an hour and 15, hour and 20 right now. Slinky Dog is a great example of rides that I have waited over an hour for, and it has been miserable. So I can really appreciate this. Alright, heading into the first.
BB-8. Prep the ready room for recruits. Commander 9-9, please report back to ITS cockpit.
BB-8, is everyone assembled? Good. Should you be in flight prep? Ground crew, deck is in motion.
I'm getting a higher reading on the fuel pressure line. Let's raise the shields.
We got company, first order TIE fighters. We route.
Yes, General. Enemies of the First Order. We will soon snuff out your meager resistance.
Wait, you're still here? Poe's coming back with an attack force. Get to the escape pods now. Lieutenant Beck, we need to find him a way.
I rose, I resisted, and I only waited 90 minutes to get to the first pre-show where Ray and BB-8 come out. and that's pretty darn good. I waited about 110 until I sat down in the actual ride vehicle. That is still not bad at all. Do I think this is worth that? I actually do. I love this ride. I am a Star Wars fan, and I really love it. I can take in all the content. It's not my whole life, but I really enjoy it, and I do still think it's worth it. So if you're a major Star Wars person, I think this is definitely worth it. I also think that potentially what I enjoy doing is waiting until the very end of the night and getting in right before the park closes. So whether the line is that long or if it's not, I'm not wasting a lot of my park day. Also, to round out our coffee science, here in Galaxy's Edge, you can also get a very special cold brew. It is at Katsaka's Kettle, where you can't get the specialty popcorn, but they now have the cold brew that was famous in Disneyland. They finally brought it to Disney World. It is the cold brew Black Calf. It is Joffrey's cold brew with some cream cheese. I know that might sound odd, but cream cheese and then essentially Cocoa Puffs on top. It is actually one of my favorite drinks. Good coffee science. Now that I have finished up some line science and some crowd research in Galaxy's Edge, I am going to do a mobile order for lunch. I'm getting pretty peckish. I'm super glad that I grabbed that snack before I went into that line though, because it helped tie me over. And as you can see, the crowds are pretty hefty through here. So I'm gonna mobile order and see what options I get. A great example of a pinch point is right up here, as you can see outside of these bathrooms. I am right near Baseline Tap House. Star Tours is right up here at the corner. You can tell this is where a big crowd is. This is a great example of a pinch point. Luckily for me, one of my favorite quick services in all of Hollywood studios, as random as that might sound to some of you, is ABC Commissary. And what had a pickup time for right now but ABC Commissary? Honestly, ABC used to be not a good quick service at all. In the last few years, they kind of did a little refurb with the menu, and I have really enjoyed it ever since. There's a lot of seating outside. It's on both sides, and there actually is a lot of shade. I really like that. It gives you a lot of options. But another thing that I really like is that your mobile order needs to be ready for you to go in and pick it up. And so that way you can also grab some seating inside, and it doesn't get too flooded even on hot days. I am coming a little bit after lunch, but as you can see, there is a line for the non-mobile order options. It's not horrible, but I am glad to be skipping it. So for my lunch today, I did get these shrimp tacos from ABC Commissary. It is sauteed shrimp with a mango salsa, cabbage slaw, and a spicy mayo. Alrighty, it was still fairly busy when I came. It's only 1 o'clock, so it's not a super late lunch, but it's also not like a perfect lunch hour, if that makes sense. So I did have a little bit of trouble finding a seat, but it wasn't horrible. I just had to walk around for a minute and wait for somebody to get up. Now I am totally, fully ready to enjoy my lovely shrimp tacos that I love so much. Cheers. Have a bite. To me, that's really good. That spicy mayo adds a lovely little kick, and then that mango salsa balances that out so well. The shrimp, I mean, for theme park food, shrimp is actually prepared pretty good. It's sauteed well. There's not a lot of flavor on it, but I enjoy that. I like a shrimp taste. If you don't like super shrimpy shrimp, you're not gonna enjoy this. I also think the slaw is very fresh because it's good and crispy, which adds like a good crunch. I think it's different. If you've had burgers and chicken nuggets for the last 3 days, try some shrimp tacos. ABC has a lot of really nice options. They also have pulled pork tacos. They have some really great salads if you're looking for healthier options. I actually really like this. I know it's still just a quick service, and I know comparatively to other options here, it's not gonna be your #1 option, but I choose this almost every time I come to a quick service here. I also think it's a great portion size for what you're getting. If you're not super hungry, you could easily get another side of rice or side of black beans, which I have done before, and split this with somebody. And 9 times out of 10, you can get a mobile order ready for as soon as you walk up here. Of course, during the busier days, that might not be true, but like today, it's kind of a medium day, and I had no problem getting this, and they made it incredibly quickly. So very happy, very pleased. Definitely recommend trying out ABC Commissary if you're just looking for something a little bit different. Hollywood Studios is a little bit different from Magic Kingdom in that their quick services are not as in demand. They aren't as popular as, say, like Cosmic Rays or Casey's. So you pretty much have your pick of the litter for the most part. The only 2 places that you might have a little bit of trouble with maybe not even on busier days, but just in general, is probably going to be Woody's Lunchbox and Docking Bay 7. Those are two definitely very popular options here in Hollywood Studios. So watch for the times on that one if you know you want to eat there. Maybe mobile order at the time in the morning when you know when you want to eat. If you are still interested in things like Woody's Lunchbox, we do of course have a Disney World Challenge series where we eat everything in Disney World. So go check out our Toy Story Land video on that and you can see more of what options Toy Story Land has as far as food goes in Hollywood Studios. So I just checked the wait times and Slinky Dog is currently the highest wait in studios, but incredibly selfishly, Mickey and Minnie's is still at an 80-minute wait, which is pretty long. And Mickey and Minnie's is one of my favorites, so I want to see how accurate that is. Minnie Mouse impression?
Maestro Mickey Mouse and his Philharmonic Orchestra.
That wasn't good. That was like a mix of Barbie and a princess and a pipsqueak. Sorry about that. I actually really love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It is the most recent addition to Hollywood Studios. It opened in March 2020. Ironically enough, it was not open that long before the parks had to close, but of course everything is back up and running again. I love Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, even though it did replace Great Movie Ride, which was one of my favorite rides in all of Disney World. But the reason I like it so much is because until this ride, this is the only ride that Mickey Mouse himself, the Mickey Mouse, has in Disney World. Before this was open, all Mickey had was Philharmonic Orchestra, which is great, but he's Mickey Mouse. So I can appreciate this. Also, you know I couldn't miss Kermit's frog hands. I love him. Hi, Kermit. All right, so it's looking like an 85-minute wait, which is a little bit higher than the last time I was here. So let's get in line and see how accurate it is. This is actually not bad. I have seen all of this full before, even down to the entrance way back over there. So this is not bad. I'm really hoping that means that this will move a little bit quicker. Once park hopping happens, things will spike for a little bit, but then as the evening continues on, things definitely start to drop. So keep watching those wait times. Of course, during fireworks and late night events, things will drop even more. So always be aware of that. If you're not someone who's super into fireworks or shows, that would be a great time to go ride some rides. Alrighty, it's only been about 25 minutes and I can already see the entrance inside. Of course, there is still a queue inside, but in my memory, it's not that bad. We are going into Mickey and Minnie's Perfect Picnic, and we get to be a part of the cartoon with them. I really recommend checking out those cartoons. They're very, very cute. The most recent one, all about spring, had made me laugh, made me cry. I enjoyed every single thing about it. Check it out on Disney Plus. I am into the final section of the line before the pre-show. You can tell that that group is headed down into the pre-show. So I'm about to move forward. I'm very excited. It has only been 45 minutes. We're doing very well. one of my favorite parts of the whole queue because you can't have Engineer Goofy or Mickey or Minnie or any of them without Walt Disney. Love that. Alrighty, so in the end, it only took me 60 minutes to get through what Disney said was gonna be an 85-minute wait. I am very happy with that. This is probably my favorite ride on Hollywood Studios. I know that's a controversial opinion. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. I love that it's trackless. I love the characters, and I love that Mickey and all his friends finally have a little bit of something in the park that's an actual ride for them. One of my favorite things about this ride, and one of my favorite little Easter eggs that I always tell my friends to watch for, in every single scene, Pluto kind of pops in behind Mickey and Minnie because he is chasing them while they're saving us, and he always has the picnic basket that Mickey and Minnie lost, and Pluto is chasing Mickey and Minnie through the whole thing with that picnic basket, trying to get it back to them. It's incredibly sweet. If you're trying to decide if you want to pay to skip the lines, of course, all ears, shameless plug. We have you covered. Go check out our video all about should you pay to skip the lines at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Small spoiler, we think yes. To wrap up our Disney Hollywood Studios crowd research, info, tips, tricks, whatever you want to officially call this, we have to, of course, talk about crowds at night. And when do you see crowds at night? Fireworks, of course. So one thing that's really important to know is Hollywood Studios' biggest show, Fantasmic, is not back yet. We do know it's coming back in 2022, so make sure to stick around with AllEars.net to get all of the updates on that. In the meantime, Hollywood Studios does have a show. It is called The Wonderful World of Animation. It happens right here on the Chinese Theater at night. It's a very cute show. It goes through 90 years of Disney and Pixar animation. Because this show is not as popular, the wait times aren't necessarily going to drop the way they will when Fantasmic comes back at night, but it might help you a little bit. If you're interested in this show, it is not necessary to stake out a spot as early as Fantasmic or as early as Enchantment, but I would maybe suggest coming 20 minutes before the show starts if you want to get a good seat. It's very nice. Fireworks. It's not the biggest show you'll ever see, but it's a cute one. Everybody, that's it. Science, check. Research, check. Crowds, semi-check. I'm very pleased with how the day turned out. I hope that you are too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in Hollywood Studios Crowds today. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and now go check out Quincy going through Disney World's messiest land. Spoiler alert, it's here in Hollywood Studios. Go check it out. Bye! After standing in lines all day, sometimes you just need to pop a squat in the shade and only drink water and not move for 30 minutes. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that. I don't know why I said that.